My husband's childhood sweetheart claims to be a little sun that brings warmth to patients. She changed the patient's positive test result to negative after the incident. She explained with a pitiful expression, the patient is already suffering from illness. I changed his result to give him a brief recovery and make him happy for a moment. The patient made a big scene. She ignored the patient and instead apologized to me. Senior. The patient said they were going to report me, and in a panic, I gave them your name. As a result, I was reported and had all my performance bonuses deducted, but she didn't seem to care. We came to the hospital to be angels in white, not to make money. Why focus on these things? I couldn't reason with her, so I had to go to my husband, but he said, these jokes are harmless, and I'll make up for the performance bonus you lost. Later, a big celebrity came to the hospital for surgery. She pretended not to know the importance of fasting before surgery and deliberately gave the patient her favorite apple to eat. After I found out, I immediately rescheduled the surgery. The surgery was very successful, but the recovery period was a bit tough, yet she secretly told the patient, eating an apple before surgery ensures a smooth and safe operation. It's a hospital tradition. The senior student is your anti-fan, which is why she deliberately changed your schedule, causing you so much pain now. The celebrity pressed her husband for answers, but he evasively agreed with his childhood sweetheart. The celebrity took it as truth and mobilized her millions of fans to cyberbully me. Finally, I was run over and killed by a fanatic, enraged fan. When I opened my eyes again, I went back to the day the celebrity came to check in for hospitalization. This time, I want to let the little sunshine in the department warm everyone up properly. Senior. Hurry up and tell Meng Meng, did the big star Lin Guanyu come to our hospital? Actually, even if you didn't say it, Meng Meng already knew. The marketing accounts have already announced it. Meng Meng wants to personally take care of Lin Guanyu. Senior, please help me. If you don't help me, I'll go tell Brother Shu Wei. Brother Shu Wei told you to help me more, and you can't disobey him. Looking at the pitifully pouting Dai Yimeng in front of me, I swallowed the words that were about to come out of my mouth. You're a doctor, not a hospital caregiver, because I realized I'd been reborn. Dai Yimeng is my husband Zhou Shuwei's junior schoolmate, and they are childhood sweethearts who grew up together, always addressing each other as brother and sister. Even though Dai Yimeng is already 30 years old, she always likes to pout and pretend to be underage, which I find utterly exasperating. Many male colleagues, especially Zhou Shuwei, are particularly taken by this act. It is precisely because of Zhou Shuwei's indulgence and assistance that someone as foolish and malicious as Dai Yimeng can continue to stay at the hospital. Dai Yimeng would go to patients using low-cost domestic drugs and angrily question them in confusion. Why don't you listen to Brother Yimeng and use the imported medicine? Although it's 10 times more expensive, it really helps with your condition. If you don't use it now, don't blame our hospital if you don't get better later. Patients who cause trouble aren't good patients. When she makes a mistake, she apologizes with a sense of righteousness. Although I mixed up your prescription with another patient's, their medicine is more expensive than yours, so you're not losing out at all. After all, you still got the better end of the deal, and every time something like this happened, Zhou Shuwei would force me to step forward and apologize. To resolve the issue, in the more than 2 years since Dai Yimeng came to the hospital, I went from being the doctor who received so many commendation banners that my hands grew soft to the one with a tarnished reputation. Whenever I had an opinion, all the male doctors in the department, including Zhou Shuwei, would say I was being petty and nitpicking. While I was still lost in thought, Zhou Shuwei had already heard Dai Yimeng's voice and walked in. What's wrong with Meng Meng? She sounds unhappy from her voice. In my previous life, as soon as Zhou Shuwei entered, I patiently explained to him that Lin Guanyu was no ordinary person, and if we weren't careful, our hospital could be drowned in the saliva of his fans. Zhou Shuwei thought so too, but seeing Dai Yimeng acting coquettishly, he couldn't resist. In the end, he spoke up. All right then, I'll leave Lin Guanyu in your care. Let Meng Meng help out. She's been a fan of Lin Guanyu for many years. We can't be that cruel. It was precisely because of Zhou Shuwei's decision that I ended up dead without a complete body. Thinking of this, I didn't explain any of it and simply chose to keep my mouth shut. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Dai Yimeng thought I was feeling guilty and quickly repeated the words she had just used to plead with me, adding a few adjectives. To plead with Zhou Shuwei again. Zhou Shuwei gave me a somewhat troubled look. but I just went about organizing the medical records on my own, as if I weren't even there. Zhou Shuwei hesitated for a moment before speaking. All right, you can take care of Lin Guanyu personally, but you must not be careless. Lin Guanyu is no ordinary person. Before he could finish his sentence, Dai Yiming excitedly hugged Zhou Shuwei. I knew brother Shuwei was the best. I'll take the afternoon off to get a facial and hair treatment, so I can meet my idol looking my absolute best. After Dai Yiming left, Zhou Shuwei frowned at me and said, I gave you a look earlier to help me refuse. Why did you act like you didn't see it? I was taken aback. Reject? Why would we reject her? Zhou Shuwei was quite angry. Meng Meng is young and tends to be careless. What if something goes wrong at the hospital? I sneered inwardly, so he was aware of Dai Yiming's character after all. Still, I gave Zhou Shuwei a reassuring look and comforted him with the same words he had used to comfort me in my previous life. Don't always think that way. Meng Meng is also a doctor, and she graduated from the same school as us. Although she sometimes plays harmless jokes, her professionalism is still up to standard. Who among us hasn't been through this? Zhou Shuwei naturally couldn't refute her own words, but she muttered, but if something happens, Lin Guanyu is also quite innocent. Innocent? I don't think so. He bullied small celebrities and even has a life on his hands. Moreover, in my previous life, even though he knew his surgery was successful, he still listened to Dai Yiming's provocation, led his fans to cyberbully me, and caused my tragic death. He is not innocent. He deserves to have Dai Yiming take care of him, let him pay the price for his actions, and by the way, send that fool Dai Yiming out of the hospital, which will inadvertently save many people. So not only do I not think this is wrong, but I also find it quite appropriate, but I didn't say these words. Instead, I followed Zhou Shuwei's words thoughtfully and said, although I don't have such concerns, it's always good to be cautious. All right then, I'll transfer the patient Lin Guanyu to you. This will also be a good opportunity for you to mentor Dai Yiming properly, so you can't keep saying I'm not careful or patient. I made my case with solid reasoning, and Zhou Shuwei had no way to refute it, so he reluctantly took over the hot potato that was Lin Guanyu. However, just the next day after taking over, I heard Zhou Shuwei's somewhat exasperated voice in the office. Meng Meng, how did you handle this medical record? Why isn't there any record of bowel movements or urination? Hearing this, I almost couldn't help but laugh out loud, because I had asked the same question in my previous life, and the answer I got left me speechless on the spot, just like in my previous life. Dai Yiming said with a hint of shyness, how could I, as a girl, ask such a question to someone of the opposite sex? Besides, Lin Guanyu isn't an ordinary person either. This is a celebrity's privacy, and he would definitely feel shy too. I know Zhou Shuwei very well. The reason he has been able to tolerate Dai Yiming for so long is because I've been cleaning up after her. Once it starts affecting his own core interests, he won't continue to indulge her. Seeing that he was starting to consider whether to let Dai Yiming continue taking care of Lin Guanyu, I quickly stood up. Director Zhou, please be a little more patient with Meng Meng. She didn't say anything wrong, and besides, Lin Guanyu is not an ordinary person. If you go and ask him yourself, not only will there be no awkwardness between genders, but it will also show your level of importance. So, you should go and ask him yourself. Zhou Shuwei was momentarily speechless, completely at a loss for words. If this had been the work of any other assistant doctor, Zhou Shuwei would have been furious, but it was Dai Yiming, and he had originally intended to go along with the situation and ask for my help, and that's exactly what I did. Fighting back my disgust, I gently patted Dai Yiming's shoulder. Don't be scared, Meng Meng, brother Shuwei isn't blaming you, he's a rough guy. How could he understand what's in our Meng Meng's heart? How about this? Your senior and brother Shuwei will go with you to ask, perhaps, Lin Guanyu might find you professional and think more highly of you because of it. With my mediation, the three of us entered Lin Guanyu's high-level VIP ward together. Zhou Shuwei, with a dark expression, asked questions that he shouldn't have had to ask personally. After answering, Lin Guanyu began praising Dai Yiming again. Dr. Dai is truly the most adorable, gentle, and patient-centered doctor I have ever met. Being hospitalized was originally something that scared me, but Dr. Dai made me feel warmth in this cold hospital, so I wasn't afraid at all. Zhou Shuwei's complexion improved slightly, and he tore open the gauze on Zhou Shuwei's chest again to check the condition of the wound. At this sight, his face darkened once more. What's going on? Why hasn't the dressing been changed yet? Dai Yimeng's face turned even redder. Men and women should maintain proper boundaries. How could I have the nerve to just go ahead and do it? Besides, I never said I wouldn't change it, I was just. A few hours late, Lin Guanyu's expression was a bit awkward, but he still said generously, it's fine, I know a little about this myself, the medicine only needs to be changed once a day, and it hasn't been 24 hours yet, changing it a bit later means I can suffer a little less. It must be that Dai feels sorry for me, but it's okay, I can handle the hardships of acting, and I can handle the pain of changing the dressing. Let's do it now. Dai Yimeng gave Zhou Shuwei a somewhat smug look, as if to say, see, I know what I'm doing. Perhaps afraid that Dai Yimeng might act recklessly, Zhou Shuwei didn't dare to leave, but stood there watching her change the dressing himself, and Dai Yimeng did not disappoint my expectations. She put on a professional demeanor as she began to change Lin Guanyu's dressing, looking quite skilled, but I had to pinch my thigh hard to keep from laughing out loud, for no other reason. Dai Yimeng seemed like a fool, having even forgotten basic nursing knowledge. She actually used iodine to draw a big heart around Lin Guanyu's wound. This is the heart of all your fans. With this heart, you will definitely get better. Zhou Shuwei felt his vision darken and looked at me with pleading eyes. No, he was hoping I'd get fed up and lose my temper, then take over and do it myself, but I simply acted as if I weren't there. Not only did I ignore his gaze, but I didn't even notice him gently tugging at my sleeve. After all, with Lin Guanyu present, Zhou Shuwei had no choice but to force a smile and step forward to change the dressing himself. Once the dressing change was finished, Zhou Shuwei, in a rare moment, raised his voice at Dai Yimeng. Meng, in our eyes as doctors, patients are not divided by gender. If you're too embarrassed to even ask about a patient's bowel and bladder habits, how can you possibly become a doctor? Not to mention your wound dressing technique. Who told you to draw a heart with iodine? Since you're so unprofessional, starting today, you are not allowed to go to Lin Guanyu's ward anymore. Dai Yimeng's face instantly turned from cloudy to rainy. She stomped her foot angrily. Brother Shuwei, how can you be so mean? Lin Guanyu didn't say anything. What right do you have to criticize me? I never want to talk to Brother Shuwei again. After saying that, Dai Yimeng ran out crying. Zhou Shuwei hesitated for a moment where he stood, but in the end, he clicked his tongue and chased after her. I don't know exactly what happened after he chased her out, but when they came back, the two were as close as one person again, and the words forbidding Dai Yimeng from going to Lin Guanyu's ward vanished into thin air. However, after what happened last time, Dai Yimeng did indeed become much more attentive in taking care of Lin Guanyu, asking and doing everything that needed to be done. I found it amusing to watch. It turns out that Dai Yimeng wasn't ignorant of these basic care and medical knowledge. She was just pretending to be cute on purpose. A week passed like this, and soon it was the day of Lin Guanyu's surgery. On that day, Zhou Shuwei, as usual, brought Dai Yimeng to ask the routine pre-surgery questions. When asked whether she had fasted as required, Dai Yimeng became a bit agitated. Of course, Meng isn't clueless. Brother Shuwei, please stop treating Meng like a child all the time, okay? Zhou Shuwei pulled Dai Yimeng aside and whispered, Meng, you're not lying, are you? This is no joking matter. You like Lin Guanyu so much, and you definitely don't want anything to go wrong during his surgery, right? Dai Yimeng rubbed the ground with the tip of her foot. She hesitated a little. Dai Yimeng is simple-minded, so if I press her like this, she's bound to confess. After all, in my previous life, she admitted to giving Lin Guanyu an apple just because I raised my voice a little. Indeed, Dai Yimeng frowned. Actually, seeing that she was about to speak, I quickly stepped in. Shuwei, why are you always so distrustful of Meng? Over the past week, everyone has seen how dedicated and how much she has improved. Dai Yimeng swallowed the words she was about to say. Exactly, Brother Shuwei, how come you're not as understanding as our senior sister? Just as things were about to settle down, Lin Guanyu, standing nearby, hesitated a bit. Actually, before he could finish his sentence, Dai Yimeng screamed, You can't say it, that's our secret, you have to trust me. Lin Guanyu didn't have a high level of education and believed that Dai Yimeng wouldn't harm him, so he also chose to lie. Yes, Actually, I didn't eat anything at all. I followed Director Zhou's instructions to fast completely. With the assurance from both of them, Lin Guanyu was quickly wheeled into the operating room. I didn't follow them in but instead returned to my office, less than an hour after sitting down. Lin Guanyu rushed in with a panicked expression. It's over, I'm finished. Although I knew what had happened, I still asked with confusion, what's wrong? Lin Guanyu's face darkened. It's all because of Meng Meng. She actually gave the patient an apple before the surgery, causing the patient to vomit during the operation. Now, the heads of various departments have gone in to assist with the rescue, but the situation might not be good. I was also taken aback. I did intend to teach Lin Guanyu a small lesson, and I did want to use this incident to drive both Lin Guanyu and Dai Yiming out of the hospital, but I never expected it to be this serious. Although vomiting during surgery carries risks, such incidents can be handled calmly without causing any major issues, so I was even more puzzled. How is that possible? How could vomiting require the heads of various departments to assist with the rescue? Both you and I could handle something like this. Lin Guanyu's face darkened even more. If it were just vomiting from eating something, how could I possibly not be able to handle it? You have no idea what Meng Meng did. I pressed him repeatedly. What happened to her? Tell me quickly. My worry is not feigned. Although I deeply resent Lin Guanyu, he is, after all, a human life. I may not be a saint, but I am a doctor. I can think of ways to make Lin Guanyu suffer a little, but I would never wish for his death. However, Lin Guanyu sighed and said, I don't know either. Meng Meng didn't say anything, but I know her well, and I'm sure she's hiding something else from me. Lin Guanyu is a big star. If he really doesn't make it, my life is over. Not only would I lose my career as a doctor, but I might even be torn apart and devoured by his fans. Hearing this, I slowly calmed down. Lin Guanyu's accident had nothing to do with me. I didn't need to morally bind myself over this matter at all. I was just trying to save myself. Perhaps Zhou Shuwei realized there was no point in telling me all this. He turned his head and looked at Dai Yiming, whose face had long turned pale, and flew into a rage. Meng Meng, have you really gone mad? Don't you even know the basics like fasting before surgery? If you want to kill him, don't drag me down with you. I've been so good to you. Why on earth would you want to harm me like this? I imitated Zhou Shuwei's demeanor from my previous life and stood protectively in front of Dai Yiming. Director Zhou, how can you speak like that? Meng Meng is still young. You have to give her a chance. Zhou Shuwei was left speechless. Yes. This wasn't the first time Dai Yiming had done something bizarre, but every time I urged him to take it seriously, he would say it was nothing, just a minor issue. So what happened today is closely related to Zhou Shuwei. Because I spoke up for Dai Yiming, she couldn't hold back any longer and burst into tears, crying out, Brother Shuwei, how could you blame me like this? The senior is right. Lin Guanyu's behavior has nothing to do with the apple. In fact, neither Zhou Shuwei nor I believed it was because of the apple, so Zhou Shuwei and I kept pressing for answers. Dai Yiming hesitated for a long time before saying with a pitiful look, with such a small amount of apple, even if I really vomit, it wouldn't be a big deal. Seeing that Zhou Shuwei and I didn't understand, Dai Yiming continued to explain, actually, it's anesthesia. A sudden thought flashed through my mind. I remember now. On this day in my previous life, I didn't perform surgery on Lin Guanyu because he had eaten an apple, but the next day during the surgery, Dai Yiming insisted on entering the operating room almost as if she were seeking death. The reason was that if she came in, Lin Guanyu wouldn't feel any pain. At the time, I just thought she was crazy and directly escalated the matter to the hospital director, who eventually kicked her out of the operating room. Could it be that in my previous life, when she said he wouldn't feel pain, it wasn't because she was a little son, but because she was a Breaking Bad character? Indeed, the next second, Dai Yiming spoke with a pitiful tone. You're not Lin Guanyu's fans, so you have no idea. Although Lin Guanyu appears to be a tough guy, both in shows and on TV and in movies, he's actually very afraid of pain. Just like the last time I changed the dressing, it wasn't that I really cared about the so-called boundaries between men and women. It was because I knew he was afraid of pain, and I thought that delaying the dressing change by 1 minute would mean he could avoid the pain for 1 more minute. I'm his fan, so of course I have to think about him. That's why I deliberately doubled the anesthesia for him, so that he wouldn't feel any pain at all. Now I finally understood everything. It turns out that in my previous life, Lin Guanyu hated me not because I delayed the surgery by a day, nor because of some apple. It was simply because I refused to let Dai Yimeng into the operating room, so Lin Guanyu believed that his postoperative pain was due to insufficient anesthesia. This is really, how ridiculous. After hearing Dai Yimeng's confession, Zhou Shuwei completely broke down. If it was just a matter of eating an apple, he could still argue with the preoperative informed consent form signed by Lin Guanyu. He could argue that Lin Guanyu didn't follow the doctor's orders, or at most, he could just fire Dai Yimeng. But an overdose of anesthesia is a big problem. I think he must be regretting it now, regretting letting Dai Yimeng, who is only half-skilled, be Lin Guanyu's anesthesiologist. He shook Dai Yimeng's shoulders frantically. Dai Yimeng, what on earth is wrong with your brain? How can you give so much anesthesia? You're going to kill Lin Guanyu. Dai Yimeng was also upset. I just wanted to reduce Lin Guanyu's pain, to bring warmth to every patient. Is that wrong? Zhou Shuwei was crying and laughing at the same time. What warmth? What less pain? How on earth did you get your graduation certificate? How did you write your thesis, Dai Yimeng? You're already 30 years old, not an 18-year-old kid. Stop pretending to be pitiful, innocent, and cute here, okay? You should really think about how you're going to face the investigation, although it's not the time to laugh right now. But hearing Zhou Shuwei call Dai Yimeng by her full name instead of Meng Meng, I really find it quite ridiculous. After all, I've told him countless times before, this is a hospital. It's fine if you call her Meng Meng in private, but using that name in the hospital will only make patients think we're unprofessional. But Zhou Shuwei thought I was just jealous. Can you stop being so unreasonably jealous? Meng Meng is my junior. She's like a little sister to me. What's wrong with me calling her Meng Meng? Yes, that's right, but it was precisely your constant, Meng Meng, your repeated, little cutie, little sunshine, that turned Dai Yimeng, who was only mildly intellectually disabled, into someone with severe intellectual disabilities. But even if Dai Yimeng is intellectually disabled, she still has a mind of her own. Of course, she knew how serious the situation was and what consequences she might face, so she didn't have time to act spoiled or get angry. She quickly grabbed Zhou Shuwei's hand. Brother Shuwei, you can't just abandon me. We grew up together, and you promised to be good to me for a lifetime. But when you grew up, you married Senior Feng and started being good only to her. If you don't help me with this matter, I really have no way out but to die. Are you really willing to watch me die with your own eyes? Although Zhou Shuwei spoke harshly, after all, he had been doting on her for so many years, so when he saw Dai Yimeng starting to act desperate, he softened his heart. Seeing that I remained silent, he gritted his teeth and said, Honey, even though this is Meng Meng's responsibility, you are her sister-in-law and her senior. You really can't just stand by and do nothing, only you can save us now. I glanced at him and asked, How can I save you? Zhou Shuwei's eyes lit up, but the words to make me admit to the surgical accident on his behalf just wouldn't come out. After hesitating for a while, he finally changed his words. Let your dad step in. Although your dad has retired, as long as he can step in to save him, Lin Guanyu still has hope. How dare Zhou Shuwei even mention my dad? In my previous life, after I died, my dad went around looking for help and quickly found out that the root of everything was Zhou Shuwei and Dai Yimeng. He tried to use his influence to clear my name, but the two of them discovered it and ended up killing him. This time, Zhou Shuwei didn't really want to save Lin Guanyu. He just wanted my dad to take over this mess. After all, as long as my dad took over, any problems that arose later would be his responsibility. However, I didn't refuse directly. Instead, I sighed and said, My dad's hands have been shaking badly lately. I'm afraid he's not up to performing surgery. Seeing that the two of them were about to turn hostile, I quickly explained, but I believe Lin Guanyu is a lucky person and will surely pull through this. They probably realized that begging me was useless, so they eventually gave up. But just as I had said, a miracle happened. Lin Guanyu didn't die, but he suffered more than death. He stayed in the ICU for 2 months before regaining consciousness, but upon waking up, he discovered that due to prolonged brain hypoxia, he was not only completely paralyzed but also had his once proud handsome face twisted. with a crooked nose and slanted eyes, not to mention becoming a celebrity. He can't even live as an ordinary person. He'll have to spend the rest of his life lying in bed. A minor surgery turned him into this. Who could bear it? It's said that after Lin Guanyu woke up, he refused to eat or drink, just staring blankly in his hospital bed. Dai Yimeng, who should have remained silent, couldn't hold back anymore. She ran into Lin Guanyu's hospital room, crying, "Brother Guanyu, you shouldn't give up on yourself. There are so many disabled people in the world, and even if you become disabled, you'll still be the most handsome among them. You can still act in the future. It's just that you'll have to do it lying down. You can use your eyes to act, and your mouth can still speak. You can still deliver lines. We will support you just the same." Lin Guanyu was almost infuriated to death. If he could stand up, he would probably have strangled Dai Yimeng on the spot. Yet, Dai Yimeng remained completely unaware that she had said anything wrong. Forgetting the hospital's instruction for her to keep quiet, she confessed bluntly, "Don't say that about me. I'm more upset than anyone about what's happened to you. I gave you extra anesthesia for your own good. You can't just dismiss it like that." Upon hearing the words, "extra anesthesia," Lin Guanyu's angry outburst instantly ceased. "Extra anesthesia? Yeah," Dai Yimeng nodded. "I'm your diehard fan, so I know how much you're afraid of pain, which is why I gave you extra anesthesia. I never expected you to end up like this. I came to see you today hoping you could forgive me, forgive this fan who meant well but ended up making things worse." I don't know what Lin Guanyu thought when he heard these words anyway. As I stood at the door listening, I couldn't help but want to laugh. However, I didn't stay long, just in case Dai Yimeng was kicked out by Lin Guanyu and saw me, but I wasn't worried that Lin Guanyu would let Dai Yimeng off. In my previous life, Lin Guanyu's popularity declined during his surgery recovery period. That's why, even though he knew the surgery was successful, he deliberately spread rumors, saying that my surgery had failed and caused him to have after effects. After I die, he acted as if it had nothing to do with him, casually saying, "Those are just the actions of individual fans. I personally do not support medical disputes, although Dr. Fong has left me with lifelong after effects. I don't hold any hatred toward him. Everything that happens in life has its own reason. Perhaps it's because I've received too much love from others that heaven is punishing me this way." This statement has attracted many fans again, and it can be said that they are stepping on my bones, living happily by feasting on my blood and flesh. Just as I suspected, Lin Guanyu immediately hired a lawyer, threatening to make Dai Yimeng and Zhou Shuwei pay the price. Zhou Shuwei also belatedly learned about Dai Yimeng's confession and admission of wrongdoing. He immediately confronted Dai Yimeng, looking as if he wanted to tear her apart, but I stood up and spoke on her behalf. "Director Zhou, what's the use of blaming Meng Meng now that things have already happened? Besides, what Meng Meng said is the truth. You've already harmed Lin Guanyu. Do you want him to remain in the dark for the rest of his life?" He was so angry that he fainted on the spot. He was completely different from the person in the previous life who stood by and spoke without feeling any pain. However, I didn't wait for Dai Yimeng and Zhou Shuwei to pay the price. Instead, I ended up trending on social media just like in the previous life. As before, Lin Guanyu shifted all the blame for his own situation onto me. This was not part of my plan, so I couldn't help but lose my composure and rushed into Lin Guanyu, wanting to demand an explanation. As soon as I entered, I found Dai Yimeng, Zhou Shuwei, and Lin Guanyu laughing and chatting together as if there were no conflicts at all. Seeing me come in, Zhou Shuwei pulled me aside. "Why are you here?" I handed the phone to Zhou Shuwei. "If I hadn't come, wouldn't you have wronged me to death?" Zhou Shuwei looked somewhat self-righteous. "Even if you hadn't come, I would have told you about this matter. I've already made up my mind. I can't lose this job, and Meng Meng is still young. She can't bear the burden of such a harmful accusation, so I've decided to let you take the blame for now." Dai Yimeng, standing nearby, also sneered a few times. "Brother Shuwei is right. You're far from as innocent as you claim to be. I thought you were being so nice to me lately because you had a guilty conscience, but I never expected you were deliberately setting me up. Don't think I don't know what's on your mind. After everything that happened in my past life and this one, I know that Zhou Shuwei and Dai Yimeng are people who can't be reasoned with." So I turned to Lin Guanyu beside me and said, "What? You don't even care about the person who harmed you anymore. Instead, you're helping them persecute me like this." Lin Guanyu has been speaking in a very sarcastic and cryptic way ever since the incident happened. Hearing me say that, he became even angrier. Stop pretending, I already know everything. The surgery was performed by them, and it's true that they caused me to end up like this, but your father can perform the surgery, he can restore my health, yet you refuse to let your father operate on me, so I'm going to make you suffer. Only then will your father step forward to perform the surgery on me, and I can return to how I was before, but I'm not an unreasonable person either. As long as you get your father to perform the surgery on me and restore my health, I'll speak up for you and help restore your reputation. I finally understood how Lin Guanyu could possibly forgive Dai Yimeng and Zhou Shuwei. It turned out it was because the two of them told him about my father. That's true, as long as I can regain my health. What does it matter if I have to pretend for a while? What does it matter if I'm wronged and can never become a doctor again? I glanced at Lin Guanyu with a hint of mockery. Don't you feel guilty for deceiving people like this? Lin Guanyu shot me a glare. Guilt, that word isn't even in my dictionary. I only care about myself. Whether you live or die, I couldn't care less. Besides, being mentioned in news related to me is already a stroke of luck for you. It's not like you've suffered much. That's true, as Zhou Shuwei put it. As long as you admit it, I won't let you lose out. Wouldn't it be better if you didn't have to work and could just live comfortably at home? I didn't even think before refusing the request to have my father come out of retirement, but not long after, my father called. I've heard about the situation, even though it wasn't your fault, given the current public opinion. For your sake, I'll still perform the surgery for him. Even if the surgery isn't successful, the responsibility will fall on me. I'm old now, and I don't really use the internet, so I'm not afraid of things like online harassment. I know my dad is trying to make me give up. He has been a doctor all his life and values his reputation above all else. Making him endure public disgrace would be no better than killing him, so I quickly refused. Dad, don't worry, I have my own way to handle this. Just give me a month. For the next month, I didn't leave the hospital, but I was still subjected to online bullying. Just like in my previous life, I finally received a call from the dean, who asked me to think of a solution and, in so many words, urged me to prove my innocence and seek my father's help. I didn't give a direct answer, however. I immediately agreed to the dean's request and began to prove my innocence. The first step in proving myself was registering an account with my real name. I spoke the truth, even at the expense of my own family. First of all, I want to tell everyone that I am not a fan, nor am I a hater of Lin Guanyu. I am also deeply saddened to see him become like this. Although everyone online is criticizing me, saying I harmed Lin Guanyu, I must clarify that although Lin Guanyu was hospitalized and underwent surgery in my department at our hospital, I was not his direct supervisor, nor was I the surgeon, although everything I said is true. Because Lin Guanyu has spoken out frequently over the past month, no one believes me. Instead, they accuse me of shifting the blame and trying to evade responsibility. Why is there always this kind of spoiled wife who blames her own mistakes on her husband? What's going on with your hospital? My goodness, are you treating me like a fool? You don't really think I'd believe you just because you say so, do you? Oh, after waiting for so long, all we get is an attempt to shift the blame. What's next? Will the domineering doctor come out with a statement, saying something like, I'll take full responsibility, don't blame my wife, or something along those lines? Seeing everyone getting more and more worked up, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. I directly posted a video. This video was accidentally recorded while I was gathering video footage. I originally didn't want to post it because I believe the truth will prevail, but now everyone has been misled, so I can only share it to clear my name. You can take a look. This video is exactly the one from when Zhou Shuwei brought Dai Yimeng to see me after Lin Guanyu's surgery went wrong. In the video, Lin Guanyu and Dai Yimeng not only admitted that the surgery was their doing, but Dai Yimeng even explicitly stated that Lin Guanyu ended up in this condition because she felt sorry for him and added extra anesthesia. With this video, I cleared my name, and although Lin Guanyu was angry, he also understood the importance of recognizing the situation and acting accordingly. He quickly issued a statement to apologize. After the surgery, my mind was in a state of confusion, and I had no idea what was happening. It was Zhou Shuwei and Dai Yimeng who misled me, which led me to do such a thing. With Lin Guanyu's apology, I also openly expressed my forgiveness. Lin Guanyu, looking full of regret, announced his withdrawal from the entertainment industry. Fans had no idea how serious Lin Guanyu's situation was. They simply believed he left the industry because of Zhou Shuwei and Dai Yimeng. As a result, they began cyberbullying the two even more intensely than they had bullied me. Zhou Shuwei and Dai Yimeng were too afraid to leave their homes, yet they still dared to come and confront me. Senior, how could you do this? How could you release that kind of video? Don't you know it could really ruin me and brother Shuwei? Zhou Shuwei was also furious. Yes, I am your husband, and we share both glory and disgrace. By belittling me like this, what benefit could you possibly gain? Hurry, go find Dad quickly and ask him to help Lin Guanyu with the surgery. As long as Lin Guanyu recovers, I still have a chance to clear my name. I couldn't be bothered to explain to the two of them that all of this was my doing, and just sneered a few times. Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. You can wrong me, but you won't allow me to clarify. What kind of twisted logic is that? Also, my dad has already gone abroad for a trip. As for Lin Guanyu's surgery, you all know better than anyone that it simply cannot be done. Seeing that the two of them still wanted to speak, I directly threw a divorce agreement to Zhou Shuwei. Let's get a divorce. After the divorce, you can take good care of your junior, Meng Meng. However, Zhou Shuwei and I ultimately didn't get divorced. It wasn't because we were unwilling, but during the divorce cooling-off period, Zhou Shuwei and Dai Yimeng were kidnapped by Lin Guanyu's crazy fans. Because Dai Yimeng spoke harshly and angered the fans, they took out gasoline and burned the two of them to death. As Zhou Shuwei's widow, I kindly helped investigate the truth. As I suspected, these fans, like the ones who killed me in my previous life, were all instigated by Lin Guanyu. In the end, Lin Guanyu was utterly disgraced, and the compensation payments left him completely penniless, truly making his life worse than death, and I became the ultimate winner. I acquired all of Zhou Shuwei's assets, gained a good reputation, and became a well-known, respected doctor. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. After the college entrance exam, my boyfriend planned to go hiking with a few childhood friends. I advised him not to go, as there might be a heavy rainstorm. As a result, a landslide occurred, and his childhood sweetheart died on the spot. My boyfriend and I attended university together, and after graduation, we began discussing marriage, but on the wedding day, my boyfriend stabbed a knife into my heart, and the blood stained the white veil. If I had gone hiking with Qingqing back then, she wouldn't have died. I would have done everything in my power to save her. It turns out that the childhood sweetheart was the one he cherished the most. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the time after the college entrance exam. I'm going hiking with a few childhood friends tomorrow. Okay, have fun. In the milk tea shop, Qin Ran and I sat facing each other. I'm going hiking with a few childhood friends tomorrow. With a calm expression, I replied, okay, have fun. Qin Ran nodded and said, then I'll treat you to KFC later, and after we eat, I'll take you home. No need. I refused, meeting his gaze. I added, I have something to tell you. What? Let's break up. Qin Ran was stunned for a moment, and when he came to his senses, he was furious. What are you making a fuss about again? We're going hiking tomorrow. There are both men and women. We've all grown up playing together since childhood. We're all good friends. I smiled at his explanation. I'm not making a fuss. I just think we're not suitable. Let's break up. Qin Ran stood up angrily. Fine, break up then. I also think it's not suitable. You're petty, cowardly, and don't even care about your appearance. You're simply not good enough for me. After saying that, Qin Ran turned and left. I don't care about his words. I'm just happy in my heart. In this lifetime, I've finally gotten rid of him. Qin Ran and I started dating in our senior year of high school. In my sophomore year, with my first crush, I liked his sunny and handsome appearance, along with that little bit of charm from his good math grades. He had a good impression of me in our second year of high school, and after the start of our third year, he wrote me a love letter. That's how we got together. Throughout our third year of high school, we studied together, occasionally went out to have fun during breaks, sipping milk tea and eating fried chicken, dreaming about our future. After the college entrance exam, the first time we met was to estimate our scores and choose universities and majors. The second meeting is today. On this day in my previous life, After he said he was going hiking with his childhood friends, I took out my phone to double-check the weather forecast before advising him not to go. The weather has been bad lately, and there's a high chance of heavy rain tomorrow and the day after. He decided not to go and told everyone in his childhood friends group chat right in front of me. The next day, his childhood friends went and encountered a heavy rainstorm, which triggered a landslide. His childhood sweetheart, Wei Qing, died on the spot, while 2 other friends were severely injured, and 2 more sustained minor injuries after that. Qin Ran never mentioned his childhood friends in front of me again. We attended university together, studying while dating, and our relationship remained stable throughout the 4 years. After graduation, it was only natural for us to discuss marriage. I thought Qin Ran and I would be together for a lifetime, living a simple and happy life like any other ordinary couple. But on our wedding day, Qin Ran came to the dressing room, suddenly pulled out a knife, and stabbed it straight into my heart. Blood stained the white veil, a shocking sight. He looked at my bewildered face and slowly began to speak. It was you who killed Qingqing. If I had gone mountain climbing with Qingqing back then, she wouldn't have died. I would have done everything in my power to save her. It was you who stopped me. It's all your fault. I suddenly realized that, in fact, the childhood sweetheart was the one he cherished most in his heart. Watching him ferociously pull out the knife and stab again, repeating the motion continuously, I slowly closed my eyes and smiled. This time, I didn't persuade or stop him. Go climb the mountain, go save your childhood sweetheart. In this life, I wish you two to be forever locked together. After I returned home, I said to my parents, I don't want to apply to Jilin University anymore. I want to apply to Xiamen University. In my previous life, Qin Ran and I attended Jilin University. Before today, in my previous life, Qin Ran and I had also agreed to apply to Jilin University, and I had told my parents that my wish was to apply to Jilin University as well. Why the sudden change of mind? My mom asked in surprise. I said I had recently learned a bit about Xiamen University, made some comparisons, and now I wanted to go to Xiamen University more. Alright, Xiamen University is also quite good. Then Dad will help you choose a major, and we'll apply to Xiamen University when the time comes. My dad agreed. I nodded. In this life, I don't know if Qin Ran will get into Jilin University, or rather, does he even have the fate to attend, but all of this has nothing to do with me anymore. I want to strive to live well, to stand taller and see the world. The next day, at 7 in the morning, the sun was shining brightly, and the weather was quite pleasant, but around 10 o'clock, the sky suddenly turned dark with thick clouds, and before long, a fierce storm swept in. I saw the news around 2 in the afternoon. A landslide had occurred on a mountain in the suburban county, trapping some tourists, and rescue teams had already gone up the mountain to save them. I thought of Qin Ran and his childhood friends. In my heart, there was no speculation, no worry, only the feeling that everything that happened was the will of heaven, destined by fate. After that, I didn't follow the news anymore. Around 10 o'clock at night, just as I had finished showering and was about to go to bed, I received a call from my good friend Su Tian. Su Tian was my desk mate in our senior year of high school, and she knew about my relationship with Qin Ran. Zhou, hurry, go to the hospital quickly, your boyfriend is injured, Su Tian said anxiously. He called me and said that he and Qin Ran went hiking today. They suddenly encountered heavy rain, which caused a landslide, and they were both injured. He said his injuries aren't serious, just a scrape on his forehead, but Qin Ran was hurt the worst. It seems like one of his legs. Su Tian was too flustered to continue. Perhaps she herself didn't know the specifics. No, he was in the class next to ours in our senior year of high school. He and Su Tian met during the school sports meet in their first year and have always been on good terms. Actually, all of Qin Ran's childhood friends are also taking the college entrance exam this year. Some are at our No. 1 high school, others at No. 6 and No. 8 high schools. Wei Qing, for instance, is at No. 8 high school. I couldn't resonate with Su Tian's emotions, so I naturally replied, Tian, Qin Ran and I have broken up. What? She exclaimed in surprise. After a moment, her tone softened. Then there's no need to go to the hospital. Zhou, I'm sorry, I didn't know you two had broken up. It's fine. I received news about Qin Ran again 3 days later in the class group chat. The class monitor sent a message. Classmates, Chin Ran from our class was injured in an accident. I plan to organize a visit to see Chin Ran tomorrow. If anyone is available or wants to go, please register with me at 9 a.m. tomorrow. After reading the message, I decided not to go, but then, Su Tian sent me a private message. Zhou, I found out, Chin Ran's face is disfigured, with a long scar, and his left leg is crippled. He said Chin Ran had his lower leg amputated and will have to rely on crutches from now on. And also, Chin Ran was so severely injured because he was trying to save someone named Wei Qing. I heard that at the time. A tree fell down, and Chin Ran shielded Wei Qing with his body. A broken branch scraped across Chin Ran's face and grazed Wei Qing's arm. After reading this information, I felt calm inside, since it was someone I didn't care about, and I hadn't witnessed the scene myself. I couldn't empathize or think too much about it. Then, Su Tian sent another message. Zhou, let's go to the hospital tomorrow. Even if you and Chin Ran have broken up, you're still classmates. He's seriously injured, so it's only right to go and show some concern. Just as I was about to reply that I wouldn't go, a new message notification popped up. It was a private message from the class monitor. Chin Ran said he has a few books at your place and wants you to bring them to him tomorrow. I blocked Chin Ran's phone number and social media accounts on the day we broke up. Come to think of it, there are indeed a few books of his here. Well, it looks like I'll have to go tomorrow. The next day, I waited for Su Tian at the bus stop before heading to the hospital entrance with her to meet up with the class monitor and the others. In the private ward, Chin Ran lay on the hospital bed, his left cheek wrapped in gauze, wearing a loose hospital gown. A faint outline of gauze could be seen on his chest as well. His left leg was tucked under the blanket, while his right leg was exposed. Wei Qing sat by the bedside, feeding Chin Ran small pieces of apple while chatting with the classmates. Hello, I'm Chin Ran's childhood friend. My name is Wei Qing, from No. 8 Middle School. Thank you for coming to see Chin Ran. Chin Ran is quite seriously injured, and his injuries. At this point, Wei Qing took Chin Ran's hand, her tone growing somber, are because of me. It's all my fault. I've dragged Chin Ran into this. Chin Ran was very weak, but at this moment, he still tightly grasped Wei Qing's hand in return, shaking his head gently. It's not your fault, Qingqing. Protecting you is something I must do. They were gazing affectionately at each other in front of all our classmates, looking very loving and happy. Some classmates in the class had known about my relationship with Chin Ran, while others hadn't, but at this moment, even those who knew could see that Chin Ran and I had already broken up. You two have such a strong bond. This truly shows that adversity reveals true feelings, one classmate said. Wei Qing immediately turned around, glanced at me this time, then looked at the classmate who had just spoken and said with a smile, well, after this experience, I really love Chin Ran. When he came out of the operating room earlier, I promised him that I would marry no one else in this lifetime, and we would be together forever. A few classmates nodded, offering words of blessing. Chin Ran then looked at me, his gaze sharpening slightly. Zhou, where's my book? I extended my hand, holding 3 books. Qingqing, go get them for me. Okay. Wei Qing immediately stood up, walked over to me, snatched the 3 books from my hand, and took them away. Her expression fierce, she whispered softly. Chin Ran is mine now. Stay away from him in the future. The corner of my mouth lifted slightly as I replied calmly, gladly. Humph. She left arrogantly, but before she could sit back down by the sickbed, 2 people suddenly burst into the ward. Elders, seemingly a couple. Wei Qing, what are you doing here? The woman, adorned in gold and silver and dressed in an expensive manner, scolded Wei Qing. Wei Qing was stunned. Dad, Mom. The woman stepped forward, grabbed Wei Qing's arm, and pulled her away. Hurry up and leave. What does it matter to you that he's disabled? I'm telling you, you said yesterday that you're going to marry him in the future, and I don't agree. A cripple, and an ugly one at that. What are you marrying him for? To take care of him for the rest of your life? Wei Qing resisted her mother's attempts to pull her away, refusing to leave. Mom, I love him, I'm not going. What is there to love about a useless man? Damn girl, you better get out of here right now. The woman dragged Wei Qing away, hitting and scolding her all the while. Chin Ran lay on the hospital bed, struggling weakly and calling out, Qingqing, Qingqing, Qing, The man directly blocked Chin Ran's view of his daughter and extended a warning hand. Chin family boy, stop bothering my daughter. I'm telling you, I will absolutely not marry my precious daughter to you. If you think you can marry our Ching Ching in this lifetime, you're dreaming. After the man finished speaking, he left. Chin Ran, overwhelmed with emotion, struggled again and pulled at his wound, grimacing in pain. It hurts, he cried out. The nearby classmates panicked. Quick, call a doctor. After our group left the hospital room, Su Tian and I said goodbye to the class monitor and left first. While waiting for the bus, Su Tian asked me, Zhou, Chin Ran and that Wei Qing got together after you broke up, right? I guess so. Actually, I don't know either. In my previous life, I met Wei Qing twice. The first time was right after I got together with Chin Ran. One weekend, Chin Ran took me to have a meal with Yi Ji and Wei Qing, and that's how I met her. The second time was during the winter break of my senior year of high school, on Valentine's Day, when Chin Ran invited me to have pizza. Wei Qing also came. Other than that, Chin Ran rarely mentioned Wei Qing in front of me, so I didn't know much else. After the college entrance exam results came out, my score was 6 points different from my previous estimate. The gap wasn't large, so after discussing with my parents, we finally decided to list Xiamen University as my first choice. On the day I submitted my application, Su Tian asked to meet me. When I went to the dessert shop on the pedestrian street to find Su Tian, I unexpectedly saw Wei Qing. Wei Qing was holding 3 cups of milk tea in his hand. When he saw me, he was first surprised, then a smile curled at the corner of his mouth as he walked toward me. Have you finished filling out your college applications? Wei Qing asked me arrogantly. I didn't want to answer. What do you want? Wei Qing's expression remained unchanged. I heard from Chin Ran that you want to apply to Jilin University. It's a shame, Chin Ran won't be applying to Jilin University. I didn't do well on the exam, so I applied to a private undergraduate school in the provincial capital, to be with me. Chin Ran applied to the University of Science and Technology next to my school. Although the University of Science and Technology isn't as good as Jilin University, Chin Ran and I can see each other every day for the next 4 years, and I can take care of him often. For us, it's a perfect fit. At this point, Wei Qing asked, Zhou, are you envious? I smiled. Are you sure you won't marry anyone but Chin Ran? I asked. Wei Qing didn't expect me to ask so suddenly. After a moment of surprise, she answered firmly, I'm sure. I love Chin Ran very much, even though he has scars on his face and will need to walk with a cane in the future. I don't care, it's him I love, and the doctor said that once the scars on Chin Ran's face have healed a bit, she can undergo cosmetic repair surgery later on. There's a chance the scars could disappear completely. I nodded, acknowledging Wei Qing's words. Then let me know when you two get married. By then, maybe I'll even feel envious. I said, in this lifetime, my wish is to keep them locked together. I would be very satisfied if they got married. Ignoring Wei Qing, I turned and walked away. Wei Qing shouted from behind, just you wait, I will show you that Chin Ran and I are a match made in heaven. After receiving the admission letter from Xiamen University, my mother and I went on a trip for half a month. When I returned, I stayed at my uncle's house for a while, helping my grandmother with some small household chores, washing her clothes, and she cooked many delicious meals for me. In September, I stepped through the gates of Xiamen University and began my college life. Meeting new classmates and teachers and adapting to college life kept me very busy and happy over the past 6 months. During the spring festival, I went out to buy things before the new year and unexpectedly ran into Chin Ran. The scar on his face was quite noticeable, but not scary. He looked at me for a moment, then walked toward me with a limp, leaning on a cane. When did you come back? He asked. Last week, I replied indifferently. He suddenly chuckled softly, a hint of disdain in his eyes. How was it at Jilin University? Did you feel lonely all by yourself? I'm not at Jilin University. Chin Ran's expression turned awkward. Then he asked, which school are you at then? I didn't answer. It's none of your business. By now, Chin Ran should have sensed my coldness and distance, and his anger flared up. Zhou, you're still so petty. I just don't love you anymore, and I'm with Ching Ching now. Is that really necessary? I was speechless at his criticism and couldn't help but laugh. Chin Ran continued, Zhou, I'm telling you, behaving like this shows a problem with your character, and looking at you now, you're still as cowardly as before, you must be very lonely at university, not doing well. I couldn't be bothered to argue with him, so I just smiled and nodded, playing along unexpectedly. My response only encouraged Qin Ran to push his luck even further. He boasted, both Qingqing and I are studying at universities in the provincial capital. Our schools are right next to each other, very close. My legs aren't very convenient, so my parents rented an apartment for me off campus. Qingqing lives with me, taking care of me every day and even cooking for me. Occasionally, I help her with her studies and explain problems. We're doing really well. Qin Ran suddenly sighed. After being with Qingqing, I finally understood what happiness is and what it means to meet the right person. Zhou you and Qingqing really can't compare at all. After the sarcasm, Qin Ran stepped forward and suddenly asked, "Do you envy the life Qingqing and I have?" I smiled and retorted, "My skin is flawless, and all my limbs are intact. Do you envy that?" Instantly, Qin Ran's expression tightened. I was quite satisfied and turned to leave. My college life was very fulfilling, with studying on campus and part-time jobs during holidays, because my academic performance was excellent. Several specialized course teachers remembered me and recommended some large-scale professional lectures and practical investigations. At the same time, I seized many opportunities for campus activities and learning resources to study and engage. In the second semester of my junior year, my roommate Zhao Yan commented, "Zhou, your knowledge, expertise, and abilities are the strongest in our dormitory." I humbly replied no. This summer vacation, I went back home. In the scorching summer, there were few people in the small town during the day, but it was crowded at night. The night market was bustling, and on the square, people were strolling, dancing, and there were many children's play activities. That evening, while I was taking a walk with my mom on the square, I saw Qin Ran and Wei Qing. They were not far ahead of me, but they weren't standing together. "Qingqing, don't walk so fast. Wait for me," Qin Ran said, limping as he chased after Wei Qing. Wei Qing took a few steps, then suddenly stopped and turned around. "If you can't walk, you shouldn't have come out. Look at you, you're not even as good as an old man." Qin Ran walked up to Wei Qing, his face looking sinister under the streetlight. "Are you disgusted with me?" Wei Qing immediately glanced around awkwardly before replying, "No, I just feel annoyed. I didn't want to come out today, but you insisted, so I got a little irritable." Wei Qing said this without ever looking at Qin Ran. Qin Ran reached out a hand, placing it on Wei Qing's shoulder, and began to comfort her. "All right. It's my fault. I wanted to bring you out to buy something. My mom gave me 1,000 yuan this afternoon, and I wanted to buy you a dress." Wei Qing suddenly looked up. "Really?" Qin Ran nodded. Wei Qing immediately happily hugged Qin Ran. "Qin Ran, you're the best. I love you, baby. I love you too." After embracing for a moment, Wei Qing added, "Let's go check out the square over there. They have dresses for sale, although they're all street stalls. A few of them have really nice dress styles. Let's go pick some out." "All right, let's go." Watching their backs as they walked away side by side, I smiled. "Zhao, what are you smiling about?" My mom asked me. "I saw two classmates. They've been in a relationship for several years, and they're still doing well," I replied. My mom immediately smiled too. "That kind of relationship is very stable. They're classmates, so they know each other well. They'll definitely get married in the future." I agreed. In my senior year, I started my internship. In the spring recruitment of the following year, Zhao Yan and I went to the campus job fair. When I saw the name of a company, I stood there, unable to snap out of it for a long time. This company was a Fortune 500 enterprise, a major corporation. In my previous life, after Qin Ran and I graduated, we worked at this very company. I had only been working for just over 2 years when I was killed by Qin Ran. This company offers excellent benefits, has offices in several major cities, boasts a first-class working environment, and has a very positive office atmosphere. However, in this life, I have no intention of choosing this company. It's just a surprise at this moment to actually see it. After I came back to my senses, Zhao Yan asked me, "Zhou, do you want to apply for this company?" I shook my head. "No." Zhao Yan didn't think much of it either. "Then let's look at some others." In the end, Zhao Yan and I chose a company in Shenzhen. After receiving approval from the company's representative, we confirmed the specific interview time. In May, the final interview results for Zhao Yan and me came out, and we were both hired. Arriving in Shenzhen, I adapted to the city's environment and settled into my new job. 3 months later, Zhao Yan and I successfully passed our probation period and began working normally. On this day, just after clocking out from overtime, I received a call from Su Tian. Zhou, are you free? I have some gossip to share with you. Sure, go ahead. It takes me over 10 minutes to walk from the work area to the living area, so chatting along the way is perfect. He is in Shanghai on a business trip. I'm having dinner with him tonight and learned some news. Qin Ran and Wei Qing have broken up. I was surprised for a second, but then I thought about it and realized there was nothing I wanted to say. Fortunately, Su Tian continued on the other end. They lived together for over 4 years and accumulated a lot of conflicts. Wei Qing looked down on Qin Ran, thinking he was useless, couldn't do much at home, and would have trouble finding a job in the future. He felt Qin Ran couldn't be relied on for a lifetime, so he didn't want to be with him anymore. By the way, He also mentioned that Wei Qing complained in front of him, saying that seeing Qin Ran now makes him sick. As for Qin Ran, although he really likes Wei Qing, his emotional state is unstable, due to his insecurity and constant fear of losing her. He's always restless and suspicious of Wei Qing. Once, during an argument with Wei Qing, he even broke her arm. At the time, Wei Qing cried in the hospital and suggested breaking up, but Qin Ran knelt down and apologized, and they got back together. Hearing this, I suddenly laughed. How could Qin Ran treat his beloved like this? Su Tian hadn't finished speaking yet. Also, Wei Qing has had 6 abortions for Qin Ran over the past 4 years. Her parents don't know about any of this. I listened in silence. Su Tian continued with a sigh. I remember when Qin Ran was in the hospital, Wei Qing swore she would marry no one but Qin Ran. Who would have thought things would turn out like this? Besides, Qin Ran became disabled because of Wei Qing. Now, with this situation, Qin Ran has suffered a huge loss. I don't think so, because this is what Qin Ran wanted. In my previous life, Qin Ran always held a grudge against me, and it took him so long to show it, killing me on the wedding day. He probably wanted to give Wei Qing a gift, right? The gift was my life. Now, I have fulfilled his wish. He managed to save Wei Qing as he wished, and from then on, everything must have been what he desired. That year, I didn't return home until the day before Chinese New Year's Eve. On the 5th day of the Lunar New Year, while my family was hosting guests, my uncle came to our house and shared a piece of news. Yesterday, there was a fight between 2 families in our jurisdiction. My uncle is a community police officer and works shifts every year. Today happens to be the first day of his adjusted leave. My aunt was surprised. It's the new year, a time of joy and celebration. Why would they fight? My uncle explained. It's because of the marriage arrangements for their 2 children. The child in that family is disabled, and it seems the disability was caused by saving the daughter of another family. Later, the 2 children fell in love while in college, but they broke up after graduation. However, the boy's family believes the girl owes their son, and since the girl had promised to marry their son back then, they went to the girl's family to ask about it. Uncle, what happened next? The cousin from the aunt's family listened intently. The girl's family certainly wouldn't want to marry their daughter to a disabled person, so they disagreed and drove them away. The 2 families argued for a while, and then the girl's mother was the first to hit the boy's mother. The boy couldn't stand it and went to hit the girl's mother, and then the girl hit the boy. That's how the fight started. What happened in the end? My mom was also getting worked up and asked. The boy's mother and the girl's mother were both injured, and the boy's father fell down the stairs and is still unconscious to this day. So how are you handling it? Asked the aunt. Neighborhood disputes don't get resolved that quickly. For now, we've arranged for people to stay at the hospital with both the man's and the woman's families, waiting for the older brother to wake up first. The other injured people have already had their wounds treated, and they're not in serious condition. Everyone fell silent, and then the uncle spoke again. That boy's family is really pitiful. They only have 1 child, and he's disabled. I heard he did quite well in the college entrance exam back then, but later he enrolled in an average school. After graduation, finding a job hasn't been going smoothly for him either. his own abilities aren't up to par, and his education and major aren't that great either. It seems he's been unemployed at home for over half a year now. Now the girl has left him too. I chatted with him for a bit yesterday and felt like he might be a bit mentally unstable, but when he talks about past events, he's very clear, so it's hard to judge. The surroundings were completely quiet. My uncle suddenly remembered something and looked at me. By the way, that girl is the same age as Xiaohe. Could she be Xiaohe's classmate? That girl's name is, my uncle thought for a moment, Wei Qing. Xiaohe, is she your classmate? No. I shook my head. Indeed, Wei Qing is not my classmate. The topic shifted away from me, and gradually, the relatives sighed and chatted a few words before saying nothing more. After the new year, I returned to work and became busy again. I was diligent and responsible in my work, and in April, I ranked first in performance in my department. The director praised me in a meeting, and I also received additional bonuses as a benefit. My work gradually became outstanding, and Zhao Yan, in another department, also performed well in her job. This busy life continued until September, when Zhao Yan and I suddenly had the idea of starting a business. After some serious discussions, we decided to start a business. We resigned from our jobs at the big company and began our entrepreneurial journey in Shenzhen. This year during the Spring Festival, I did not go home. On New Year's Eve, Zhao Yan and I had hot pot in our rented apartment, wishing for a prosperous year ahead. On the first and second days of the Lunar New Year, Zhao Yan and I slept in for 2 days, and by the third day, we were already out conducting market research. The path of entrepreneurship is tough, but we never gave up and kept striving. One day in April, I returned to my rented apartment at 1 in the morning. After washing up and lying in bed, I checked the unread messages from the day and noticed an unfamiliar WeChat contact name, Lu Ziki. I thought for a while before remembering that he was my high school classmate. It seemed that during a New Year's visit back home in college, I ran into Lu Ziki while visiting my uncle's family. After chatting for a bit, we exchanged WeChat contacts, but over all these years, we had never actually talked. Lu Ziki asked me, "Zhouhe, what's your phone number?" I was surprised why he suddenly asked for my phone number. After thinking for a moment, I didn't reply with the number but instead asked, "Is there something you need?" It wasn't until the next afternoon that I saw Lu Ziki's reply, "Qin Ran is looking for you. He wants your phone number." I suddenly felt a strong dislike for Lu Ziki. Block and delete with a backhand. A week later, Su Tian sent me a message, "Zhou, call me when you have time to chat." I roughly planned my schedule and replied, "I'll call you around 11 p.m. At night, I returned to my rented room after 10 o'clock, finished washing up, lay in bed, and made a voice call to Su Tian to chat. After we finished catching up on each other's recent lives, Su Tian said, "Zhou, I actually wanted to tell you something." Go ahead. Qin Ran seems to be looking for you lately." I was momentarily surprised, but not entirely caught off guard. Su Tian continued, "A couple of days ago, He asked me for your phone number. I asked him what he wanted it for, and he said Qin Ran wanted to contact you. I didn't give it to him. Today, He kept messaging me from time to time, saying that Qin Ran has been pestering him. As Qin Ran's childhood friend, he's in a difficult position and hopes I'll give him your contact information, but I still didn't give it to him." Su Tian then added with disdain, "You and Qin Ran have long been over. What does he still want with you?" I am very satisfied with Su Tian's approach and responded, "Yes, that's right, Tian. Don't give it. I don't want to have any connection with him for the rest of my life." "Yes, I won't give it," Su Tian said firmly. Then, Su Tian shared what she had recently learned. Qin Ran is in a pretty rough spot now, and he still pesters Wei Qing from time to time, but Wei Qing is too proud to even acknowledge Qin Ran. Moreover, Qin Ran's father has become a vegetable, and their family is now living on welfare. "Oh," I responded indifferently, as if I already knew. Su Tian also moved on after the conversation. After all, to both me and Su Tian, Qin Ran was just an acquaintance, a stranger. I continued to work tirelessly on my career. By the end of the year, our company finally turned a profit. In December, after Zhao Yan and I paid the 3 employees, covered the office rent, and settled all the expenses, we looked at the remaining balance in the account and cried, "Next year, we will continue to work hard, and the company will thrive." In July, We moved into an office building to work. By October, the company's staff had exceeded 50 people, and I began to be addressed as Mr. Zhou by my colleagues. Zhao Yan and I remained very busy, handling company affairs, meeting with clients, attending suitable business conferences and banquets, all to seek cooperation opportunities for our company. In December, I attended a business exhibition and met a senior alumnus from Xiamen University. His name is Shen Yu, 3 grades above me, and he is the owner of a listed company. We hit it off after talking and exchanged contact information. After that, I started frequently asking him for advice on some issues, occasionally meeting up for chats, as our companies were not far apart, both located in the same district. Time passed day by day like this, with my mind focused solely on work, only wanting to make my company stronger. That day, after finishing my business trip in Beijing and returning to Shenzhen, I sat in the waiting lounge and logged into my QQ account, which I hadn't accessed in a long time. As soon as I went online, a notification popped up indicating a new message. I looked closely and saw it was from Qin Ran, sent through a temporary chat window. It suddenly dawned on me that both Qin Ran and I were in the same high school class group. I clicked open the chat window and began reading. Zhou He, are you there? I miss you so much. Where are you now? I want to come find you. I regret that we broke up back then. Do you have a boyfriend now? Can we still be together? I have nothing to do with Wei Qing now. I don't love Wei Qing at all. She's just a slut. Fickle and unfaithful, I hate her to death. I wish she could never have children in her whole life. Zhou He, have you seen the message? Can you reply to me? Darling, I really miss you so much. I want to be with you, to live a good life with you. I read it and laughed. Upon closer inspection, these messages were sent last November, which is already more than half a year ago. I didn't reply to any of them, exited the chat window, and then directly deactivated my QQ account. 2 months later, our company's net profit for that month reached 2 million. Zhao Yan and I were delighted and held a grand team building dinner. I also invited Shen Yu to this dinner because he is my mentor at work and introduced me to several connections. Among them, I signed cooperation contracts with 2 senior colleagues' companies, and the collaboration is currently proceeding smoothly. Everyone ate well and had a great time. The dinner didn't end until 2 a.m., after the colleagues left one after another. Zhao Yan also left first, and Shen Yu drove me back to the apartment. Zhao Yan and I are not living together now. Last year, her mother came to Shenzhen, so she rented a place to live with her family. When Shen Yu's car stopped at the entrance of my apartment complex, I thanked him and was about to get out when he grabbed my arm. Zhou He, I have something I want to say to you. I looked at him, signaling for him to speak. I like you. Can we be together? A simple and straightforward confession. And my heart skipped a beat instantly. Ever since I met Shen Yu, I've had a great impression of him. Smart, wise, with strong decision-making and judgment skills, and high emotional intelligence when interacting with others. He's an outstanding person. At this moment, I felt happy and wanted to agree to be with him, but then I thought about the company. It's not yet fully stable, and Zhao Yan and I haven't achieved our goals. Would dating affect our work? Just as I was hesitating in silence, Shen Yu seemed to see through my thoughts and spoke again. Don't worry about work. I'll stay by your side and help you reach even greater heights. You can still do whatever you want to do, as you please. With that, I had no more worries holding me back. I smiled and took the initiative to reach out, embracing Shen Yu, whispering softly in his ear, "Okay, my boyfriend." That night, Shen Yu stayed over at my small apartment. By the end of the year, I had bought a house in Shenzhen. During the spring festival, when I returned to my hometown for the new year, I arranged to meet Su Tian. The commercial street was bustling with activity. Su Tian and I walked arm in arm, chatting as we strolled. Suddenly, we both spotted Wei Qing not far away. Wei Qing was wearing a red coat, holding hands with a man, walking and laughing as if sharing something joyful, her smile radiant. I felt no stir in my heart and had no desire to pay her any further attention. Just as I was about to look away, a figure suddenly appeared in my line of sight. That black figure seemed to rush in front of Wei Qing in just a 2-second gap. "You bitch, I let you live a good life, and you get engaged to another man, go die." The man in the black overcoat pulled out a dagger and stabbed fiercely at Wei Qing. "It's you who brought me to this state, and you still think you can live a good life? Dream on, you worthless wretch. Die, just die." I truly regret saving you back then. I regret it to death, as Wei Qing's figure gradually collapsed. Su Tian and I finally got a clear look at the man's face. It's Qin Ran, and the next second, Qin Ran suddenly saw me. Zhou He, you should die too. Why didn't you try to stop me back then? You're partly responsible for what I've become. You and that bitch can go die together. After saying this, Qin Ran staggered toward me, holding a knife. His walking stick covered a large distance with each step, and his unsteady gait caused his body to sway violently. I had just been surprised that he had also been reborn, but after coming to my senses, I felt Su Tian pulling me backward. Oh my god, he's gone crazy, Su Tian said in a panic. Zhou, hurry up, be careful. I followed Su Tian for a while, and as Qin Ran got closer, suddenly, my thoughts changed. Tian, you go, get far away. After saying that, I broke free from Su Tian's hand. Just as Qin Ran stood in front of me and swung a knife, I directly raised my foot and kicked him in the vital spot. Ah! Qin Ran cried out in pain, then fell to the ground weakly. The knife fell to the ground. I rushed forward, slapped Qin Ran twice hard across the face, then picked up the knife and held it against his neck. Why should I try to persuade you? Isn't this everything you wanted? Qin Ran suddenly looked surprised. You too, seeing his sudden realization. I thought of my past life and really wanted to kill him, but it's not worth ruining my life over this scumbag. I love my parents, and I love Shen. After the police arrived, I handed the knife to them and explained what had just happened. After the police took statements at the scene, Su Tian and I left. 2 days later, I received a call from Su Tian. Zhou, Wei Qing is dead, and Qin Ran will go to jail. Wei Qing was already dead when he was taken to the hospital that day. Qin Ran has been at the police station the whole time, and the police will handle the matter according to the law later. I responded. 2 years later, I bought a house in Australia. In June of that year, Shen Yu and I held our wedding in Ireland, Indiana. The presence of family and friends, watching the man in front of me put a ring on my finger, I was moved to tears. Back in Shenzhen, Shen Yu and I continued to be busy with work. The following year, my company expanded again, and a Wuhan branch was established. Zhao Yan went there first to manage it for 2 years, after which it would be handed over to a professional manager. I heard news of Qin Ran again 2 years later when Su Tian was holding her daughter's first birthday celebration in her hometown. I went back and saw He Ji along with a few other classmates. While we were all chatting together, He Ji brought up Qin Ran. Qin Ran died the year before last. He was bullied in prison, later developed a mental disorder, and one time, when the guards weren't paying attention, he threw himself against a sharp iron plate and committed suicide. The classmates sighed with emotion after hearing this. I remained expressionless and said nothing. A week after returning to Shenzhen, I felt unwell and went to the hospital for a checkup, only to discover I was pregnant. Upon learning the news, Shen Yu, who was originally on a week-long business trip in Hong Kong, returned that very night. He held my hand and said, "Honey, if you have any requests or plans for the future, just let me know." I looked at him and replied, "I just want to work normally and take my maternity leave as usual." "All right," he nodded. "Then I'll resign and drive you to and from work every day, taking care of you at home." I knew that when he said, resign, he meant hiring a professional manager to run the company for him. That way, he wouldn't have to handle every little thing personally and could focus only on important matters. Great, I replied with a smile. It's wonderful to have a soulmate. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. 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 Next time.